In 1961, under the Tory premiership of Harold Macmillan, we applied to join the European Community. And he told the country at the time, accession to the Treaty of Rome would not involve a one-sided surrender of sovereignty on our part, but a pooling of sovereignty by all concerned, mainly in economic and social fields. In renouncing some of our own sovereignty, we would receive in return a share of the sovereignty renounced by other members. 1961. Today, Brexiters are telling us that the country was misled into being told that this was an organisation just for free trade. Absolute nonsense. This was an organisation to try and achieve peace, and it was, even then, considered a political union of countries. We were not misled.
Messieurs, nous allons procéder à la signature des actes.
And then, in 1972, Tory Prime Minister Edward Heath signed the EEC Treaty of Accession following 6 days of debate in Parliament. And then we were in. 1st of January 1973, we had joined. And notice the headlines in the newspapers then, who in the main were all pro our being in the European Community, unlike today. And then, in 1975, Prime Minister Harold Wilson, the Labour Prime Minister, decided to have a referendum similar to the one we had in 2016. Did Britain want to stay in the European Community that we had only just joined a couple of years previously? And the question then was yes or no, do you think that we should stay in the European Economic Community? And at the time, the Labour government sent to every household, a bit similar to how David Cameron sent a pamphlet to every household. I think this one was a lot better. And actually, it could have been printed today, and there wouldn't have been much difference in it. And they sent this pamphlet and said that the first aims of the common market were to bring together the peoples of Europe, to raise living standards, and to maintain peace. Again, Brexiters say to us that we were misled in that 1975 referendum into thinking it was only about free trade. We were hoodwinked. It isn't true. The pamphlet also said that as a member, Britain has a say in the future economic and political development of the common market. And if we left the common market, Britain would no longer have any say. And at the time, the leader of the Conservative Party, the opposition, Margaret Thatcher, she agreed. And she said it's purely common sense to belong to a community working together in peace on economic and political issues that concern us all. Again, this is beyond just free trade. The result was overwhelming. Unlike in 2016, in 1975, UK voted to remain in the European Community by a massive 2-1. The issue was settled. Although I have to add, that didn't stop Eurosceptics at the time wanting to campaign for us to get out, even though they tell us today we should stop. And I'll come on to that later on. The European Community, now the European Union, has been a remarkable success story. It's grown from its original 6 members to 28, with more wanting to join. And it's achieved its original aim of peace between members, because never has a shot been fired between a European Union country. The remarkable success story, look at it. I mean, if you read some of the newspapers, you think the European Union is collapsing. The European Union is the world's largest economic region, the world's largest trading bloc, the world's largest exporter and importer of manufactured goods and services, and the list goes on. And for most of the 40-odd years that Britain has been in the European Union, it's not been a problem. There's not been a general election issue. People were not against our membership of the European Community, or as it became the European Union. It was on the periphery of the main parties. It was just one party, UKIP. The vast majority of Parliament supported our membership and our continued membership of the European Union. And why not? It was a success story, and Britain was doing well. Before we joined the European Community, we were known as the sick man of Europe. Our inflation and unemployment was high, and the countries of Europe were doing better than us. We wanted to join for the economic survival of our country because our empire was finished and our commonwealth was severely diminished.